Morning. How's it going? Hi. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. We've danced the whole night through, just kidding. I'm pregnant and slept through everything. Good morning. Good morning. Sunbeams will soon come out through. They're already here because this is California. When the band began to play, it was really our extremely loud neighbors. Now the milkman's on his way, except we don't have milkman anymore because it's the 21st century. I hope you guys liked my song. That was the best I could do off the top of my head. My hair looks insane. Insane. You loved it. Thank you, Addie. I appreciate your support for my rewrite of the song. Sometimes, I wish we still had milkmen. Yeah, you know. We don't have milkmen. We barely have postmen. I mean, are we even sure that the USPS is still in business? And the reason I ask is that I shipped a ton of orders on October 10th. October 10th. Today is the 19th, and some people still haven't received their orders. What is this? What planet are we living on? I think you might have, Addie. I mean, like what actual business do we think we're running when you can't deliver something in over a week? Gigi, for example, literally lives like an hour and a half from me, and it took 7 full business days for her to get an order this time. That makes no sense. We're in the same state. She doesn't even live that far. What were they doing with the package for all those days? Yes, fresh milk is good. I agree. But like, what were they doing with it? It wasn't an abnormally large package. It was a perfectly normal size package. I sent it at a perfectly normal time. I said, hey, let me send all the cauldrons early so everyone can use them as decorations. Did that work? Who knows? What good is me sending stuff early if they're not going to deliver them? Sorry, I'm grumpy about it because we work really hard for this stuff. Like, what's the point in us paying USPS if they're going to take 17 years to deliver something? I'm grumpy about it. I'm not grumpy in general today. I'm in a good mood. I'm just grumpy about that. They're picketing by you? Oh, I didn't know. Is USPS on strike? Is that a thing that I didn't know about? Wait. Oh my gosh, are they on strike and I didn't know? Hi, Tiffany. Is that why this is happening? Are some branches on strike? Oh my god, I had no idea. You're in general grumpy today? What happened? Morning, Ray. What happened, Anya? Why are we grumpy? They might have resolved it. This smells so good, by the by, friends. Just so you know. Did you send my cauldrons already? I've sent everybody's cauldrons already, Jen. My big cauldron's a gift from my daughter in Anaheim. Oh no, did I ship it to you by accident, Gigi? Was I supposed to ship it to her? I can reship one though, because we have some extras and you can send that one back to me and I can ship that one with the other orders. Did I goof? Or I could just give you your shipping back and you can just ship it to her, since you already have it. Or are you hand delivering it? You let me know. No, I'm good. I'm not that good at playing. Oh, okay. Well, I'm glad it wasn't me. No, they're not on strike yet. The post office is a mess. I watched a postal worker. Oh, I haven't gotten that more tracking. You haven't gotten any tracking? I definitely shipped your whole order yesterday, Jen. 100%. Everything is out. If you didn't get tracking, just message me and I'll grab the tracking. But the rest of, if it wasn't sent early, Jen, all of your order went yesterday for sure, including. Oh my God, and Jen, we just opened the clay last night and Secret Husband found the horsey. So precious. Where did you get this adorable little horsey that you sent? So precious. Did you make that? Secret Husband's convinced that you made it. Grump can lead to horse to water, but can't make the drink situation. I mean, isn't that the truth, Anya? Isn't that the truth? I keep getting bumped off the live. That's because TikTok is a jerk. That's a fact. I will die on that hill. I will die on the hill of TikTok being a jerk. Does everyone want to say hi to the plants this morning? Good morning to the plants. Good morning to our absolutely prolific Monstera. Wait, do you guys want to see something crazy? Check this out. Okay. Do you see this planter? This plant right here, this little planter that I'm sitting next to, whatever. This is the planter. I don't know how to show it to you better. This little thing right here that my hand is in front of. Do you see how, okay, my hand is the size of this planter. Okay, you see that? That was the planter that we purchased for the Monstera when we bought the Monstera. That's what it fit in. This is what it's in now. It's on the floor. It's humongous. This leaf alone is the size of my hand, which was the size of that whole planter. This is how much it's grown since we got it. This is an extremely prolific. It's been 1 year, well, a little over a year, but not much. We got it in September of last year. Did it really? My friend got it for me in Mexico on her honeymoon. It's so cute. It's so cute. Well, the baby's getting it now. Yeah, it only had like 4 leaves when we got it, and now it's like, it's humongous, you guys. Like, look, if I stand in front of it, you can see how tall it is. It comes up to here on me. It's huge. Absolutely humongous plant. Yeah, we're obsessed with it. We told it that it's not, hi, Becca. We told it that it's not allowed to grow very much more while we live here because where the heck are we gonna put it? We can't get a bigger planter than that in this apartment. It's just not possible. We do like it, we do, and it'll go with all of her other animals. But anyway, that's the story of our Monstera plant, who hangs out with us during book club. Literally humongous plant. We're like, I mean, it's just gonna keep going forever, I think. It's huge. And you guys, there's one, oh, you can split them? I didn't know that. There's one piece in the Monstera, check this out. There's one leaf over there that has been eaten away since we bought it, okay? When we bought the plant, it already had like an eaten up leafy, which was a little bit sad, but we got it anyway because all of the plants, like it was the prettiest of the plants, even though it had an eaten up leaf. And they were like, it's not diseased or anything, just like whatever. And we're like, okay, that stem that has the eaten up leaf on it, oh my gosh, oh, sending well wishes to your brother. The stem that has the eaten up leaf on it has grown most of this out of it, because you can like track it down to like the root of that one, and they all come from the same stalk as that eaten up one. He is such a strong little stalk, the one that was eaten. He's like a little halfsy because he only has half a body because he got eaten up by some kind of bugs or something. I don't know. It's clearly eaten. It wasn't like ripped or whatever because it's got like jaggedy edges because it was like, you know? Anyway, my story is, don't judge a book by its cover, because that little leaf has grown us a ton of stuff. I don't have a slime collection, honey. I don't have a slime collection. I have so much slime, you can't even call it a collection anymore. I don't know what you would call it. Miles is super confused. He hurt himself and my kisses aren't taking the pain away. Oh, baby. How are we, Miles? Is it really bad or just a little bad? Like really bad or just a little bad, are we? But that's the story of my Monstera plant. So good morning to all of you. How's everyone doing? It's just a little bad. Okay. Can I tell you, hey cheese, Miles, you know what would probably make it better? It would probably feel better if, did mommy give you your birthday sticker from Aunt Sasha? Where's your birthday sticker? Oh no, you hurt your fingy. I'm sorry. Kisses do usually make that better. That's kind of weird that mommy's kisses didn't make it better. Strange. Maybe mommy needs a hug first to recharge her abilities. Maybe if you give mommy the biggest hug, it will make her feel better. And then she'll be able to make you feel better. And over 100 housepets, 100? That's amazing. How do you fit them? Like with a thing like this, I mean, maybe you're not talking about ones all that are this big. We only have 1, 2, 3, 4. We have 4 plants that we've managed to. You're back in your own state, Roxy. Well, maybe it'll come today. Anyway, how's everyone doing? Is anyone doing anything interesting today? I'm working, of course, which is a shock. Oh, I do have news. As of this morning, you have 9 this size. 9, where do you put them? You must have a bigger house than we do by far. Cuddles, they'll fix it. That's what I thought. You're making cake pops, send pictures. You got your order yesterday? That is so slow, Danielle. I don't know why they've been so slow recently. I want to tell you, as of this morning, the entire advent calendar is designed and Shira is starting on the charms for them. So like we're in good shape. Everything is going to be good. We're rocking and rolling. You're packing for, oh, I didn't know you were going to Atlantic City. That's exciting. 3-bedroom, no kids. Home is my playground. Yeah, we definitely don't have that. We have a 2-bedroom technically, but we also both work from home. So it's like office space, you know, for us. Obviously, like the slime room and everything can't have plants in it, like overtaking things. What is going on here with my necklace, do we think? Why does it want to choke me? Are you okay, friend? Okay. First time away from Caddy ever. Oh my gosh, that's a crazy one. Who is she staying with? I refuse to turn on the heat. That's fair. It's pretty warm here today, so I probably will not turn on the heat. We'll probably turn on the fan. But anyway, advent calendars are designed. What kind of gloves do you use? Vinyl gloves specifically, because if you get the nitrile gloves, they stick so much worse. Even the vinyl ones, it's not great, but it's better. Yeah, I get them on Amazon. I probably won't use them after I'm not pregnant anymore because I don't think my hands will dry out quite as much. My skin's just been so dry in this pregnancy. I can't wash them like every other minute. Can you get one without being in Patreon? Are you talking about the advent calendars? I don't know yet. It depends on how many Patreon people want them. Possibly yes. There will still be Christmas slimes outside of Patreon though. But will there be advent calendars? I'm not sure. The reason I'm not sure is I have to limit it to the amount that I can make and ship before November 20th. So depending on how many people on Patreon order an advent calendar, I can then make a couple extra and list them publicly. But if it's like I'm anticipating at least 100 Patreon people getting them, and if it's more than 100, I probably won't have any extra energy because I am pregnunto and very tired. So that's why I'm doing it early. I'm probably gonna list them this week. Yeah, Gigi, they'll be up for everyone on Patreon, and it's a super fun event. The other fun thing I have to tell you guys is this year's coming with at least 2 stickers, more charms than last year, and a special gift from Liv. So that's fun. I had a notification my slime is gonna get here today. Oh, you're the only one getting it fast, Jess. No one else is getting their slime fast from this restock. Everyone else, this has been delayed. You are very lucky. It's for your daughter's birthday. That's the only excuse for yours being the only fast one, is that they were like, Rosalie deserves her slime for her birthday. Can Shira link her page for me, or where can I reach her? You can always ask in the chat on Patreon, and she can tell you where the best way to reach her is. I don't know her website off the top of my head, but I know she put it in one of the chats, but I don't know it off the top of my head, unfortunately. I think it might be like Simply by SJ. Don't quote me on that though, you know? Yeah, there is a link in there from before, but if you message on there, Shira will definitely see it. Shira's a mod on Patreon, so that was weird. She can see all of the messages there, and she can get back to you. You got your naughty birthday slime. We also designed our roll for slime charms for Christmas season, which are going to be really funny. I got my nails done and they're longer than I normally have them. Haven't long. Oh, long nail time. So anyway, I just wanted to let you all know all of that. I had originally said pre-orders for the advent calendars were going to be November 1st, but considering how much slower I am than I used to be, I think it's going to need to be earlier than November 1st. I'm going to put them up early to give myself more time to make them, because I really, really would like to ship them by November 15th if I can. But I need to know numbers, you know what I mean, to be able to do that. So I need to get the pre-orders to like get an estimate at least about how many people want them. I'm like, right now I've ordered enough jars for at least 100. I can always order more jars. I told Shira to make charms for 100. I told Liv to make the gift for 100. So it's gonna be fun. I think that's it. I have to order the stickers, but those are fast. Stickers are the easiest part to get. Stickers come the fastest. You pay for them and they just print them, you know? But anyway, that's all I had to say about all that. Let's read, because this is book club time. I know I've bogarted everything by talking about slime, but it was in the forefront of my mind. I just wanted to talk about it before I forgot, but it's all good stuff. Oh, and don't forget, you guys, there is a deal up on Patreon right now to get a 10% discount on your advent calendar if you want it. So that is there as well. Okay, so let's read. This is chapter 2. Chapter 2 is called The Experimental Era. Okay. Quote, "If you could make any show you want, what would it be?" Rich Ross posed this pie-in-the-sky question to producer Douglas Ross, no relation. I'm telling you guys, we're only on chapter 2 and we've already met 3 people with the name Ross. What is happening right now? During the 1996 Movie Surfers development meeting, Douglas thought for a moment. He had been long intrigued by documentaries and had ample experience doing interview segments with kids at PBS and elsewhere. His producing partner, J. Rupert Thompson, had worked on the 2nd season of The Real World, a reality show staple at MTV since 1992, and that was at the top of his mind. Quote, "All of these data points combined into my brain and make me think that I knew exactly what kind of show I wanted to do," he said. "A documentary about kids at summer camp, but cut it like a soap opera." In the mid to late 1990s, without a predetermined look and feel for new Disney Channel original series, the then senior vice president of programming and production, Rich Ross, and the other network executives were open to throwing ideas against the wall just to see what stuck, like Douglas's reality show pitch, which eventually became the 3-season summer camp series Bug Juice. As long as the content was family-friendly and aimed at tweens, the executives entertained creatives who came with passionate ideas, even if they were outside the box. Another enthusiastic pitch came from Fraswell Hyman, a writer for the PBS series Ghost Writer. 8 years before Hannah Montana, Hyman's Disney Channel show featured a superstar juggling a public and private life, but this superstar was Black. When Hyman sold the famous Jet Jackson to the Disney Channel, he was adamant that the show cast an African-American teen in the role of Jet, a mega-famous TV action star trying to live a normal life in his North Carolina hometown. The landscape of Black-led television at the time was overwhelmingly in the comedy space. Nickelodeon had Kenan and Kel. We love Kenan and Kel. And would soon develop Cousin Skeeter. And on network primetime, The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air and Family Matters had been huge sitcom hits. Yes, I watched both of those for sure.
But to greenlight a family drama from a black creator that portrayed a black male lead as a suave teen heartthrob, this was new. Disney Channel had been making an effort toward diverse casting in their movies and shows, quote, not because someone told us to, Ross said, but because we had a diverse audience and it mattered greatly. Still, some early Disney Channel original movies like Halloween Town and The 13th Year had scarcely any lines of dialogue spoken by people of color. They auditioned hundreds of black actors for the lead role of Jet, but it wasn't until Hyman turned on his TV at home and happened to see a Robitussin commercial featuring a kid named Lee Thompson Young that he felt like he found his star. Quote, he was just so self-possessed and friendly and talented, Hyman said. I can't say enough wonderful things about him. He was just what we needed. Parenthetical. Lee tragically died by self-harm at age 29 after struggling with bipolar disorder and depression. Yikes, that's dark. But the initiative to tell black stories and center a black action hero didn't necessarily equate to equity among the rest of the cast. When the role of Jet's mom came down to 2 actors, Hyman said some of the Disney suits expressed concern that the audience wouldn't believe that the character could be a renowned TV star if she was played by Melanie Nicole King, a darker-skinned black woman with dreadlocks. I know, it's so many emotions already. Yeah, it's crazy. Their other top candidate was a light-skinned woman and had a weave. When you looked at the audition tapes, Melanie was much warmer, much funnier, and much more relatable, Hyman recalled. But I remember having a meeting and them saying that the other actress just looked the part. Nichols King eventually won the role, but over time, Hyman felt that he was being undervalued even on his own project. After being wooed by Nickelodeon to run Little Bill, he left Jet Jackson at the end of the first season. New white executives, including Sean Levy at the dawn of his career, were steadily brought on board, and a blonde co-lead was added to this cast. Quote, all creatives were white and they brought in a character to be the opposite of Jet, Hyman said. I had to divorce myself from the entire thing and just say, I wish you the best. That's a bummer. By 2003, just 2 years after its final episode, reruns of Jet Jackson had been relegated to a 3 a.m. time slot. The idea of fostering inclusivity and diversity on the network was something Disney Channel was clearly putting a premium on, but how it played out in practice was a different story. Quote, Disney from the outside is all Tinkerbell and sparkles, Hyman said, but inside, it's not really a fantasy land. While the famous Jet Jackson planted seeds for fame-centric original series, So Weird explored the role that music could play in the Disney Channel's scripted content, wrapped up in a completely unexpected package. Long before he became the Fonz on Happy Days, Henry Winkler became fascinated with the occult. As a boy, he had once lost and then miraculously found his treasured ID bracelet in Central Park. Quote, I choose to believe that a higher power helped me find it, he said, adding, and I've always believed since that age that I will be in the vicinity when aliens land on Earth and that they will be friendly. That's adorable. Someone should tell him about that other book that we just read because there's aliens all over the place in that one. Speaking of Henry Winkler, we talked about him yesterday, remember? Let's see. The unbridled love of the otherworldly led Henry Winkler to executive produce the Disney Channel original series So Weird. I did not know that he was a producer of So Weird, but now we know. No scripted Disney Channel show encapsulates the freewheeling late 90s era of experimentation better than So Weird. A young teen girl named Fee, Cara DeLizia, joins her rock star mom, Mackenzie Phillips, on tour where she encounters paranormal phenomena at every stop, while also grappling with the death of her father and directly confronting questions around afterlife and mortality. It's dark, both in subject matter and cinematography, and Winkler fought to make sure the show didn't talk down to its young viewers. Quote, their fingers are little, but their brains are big, he said. You can't forget that when you're making entertainment for children. It's kind of genius, actually. Husband and wife team John Cooksey and Allie Marie Matheson had been working on Rugrats at Nickelodeon when development executive Lee Gaither poached them to come to So Weird as showrunners. Quote, "It probably took 10 secret meetings to finally get them to leave Nickelodeon and do the show," Gaither said. "It was a huge, huge thing because suddenly now Disney Channel was stealing people that were the secret sauce for Nickelodeon. As the concept of family viewing had steadily fallen out of fashion at other networks, Rugrats had been a rare show at Nickelodeon to find the cross-generational appeal." I know, I love it too, Becca. It's a great quote. I also love Rugrats. You guys, Rugrats is top tier. It was full family entertainment. Everybody loved it. The kids loved it. The adults loved it. It was, I mean, hard to beat Rugrats as far as I'm concerned. Top tier entertainment. Rugrats was unique in that it worked for 2-year-olds and 7-year-olds and stoned college kids and adults, Cooksey said. It was for family viewing, and that's what they wanted at Disney for So Weird, a kind of teen X-Files that kids would watch with their parents. So Weird overflowed with what Winkler described as the richness of humanness. The characters were flawed, fragile, and real, and when casting the show's matriarch Molly, it came down to Mackenzie Phillips or Debbie Boone. Boone was the bubbly blonde daughter of conservative icon Pat Boone, best known for her moony 1977 cover of You Light Up My Life. Phillips was the daughter of the Mamas and Papas singer John Phillips, and undoubtedly a much bigger risk. I know, Jen, I know. She'd publicly battled drug and alcohol addictions and been fired from one day at a time, done multiple stints in treatment centers, and suffered a pair of near-fatal overdoses. Outside of a brief single episodic TV appearance, she had been virtually unhireable since the mid-'80s. Oh, I agree, Amanda. I was definitely a Disney kid, but Nickelodeon did have some good shows. Rugrats was phenomenal. Doug was phenomenal. Big fan of all that, and Keenan and Kel. All those things are phenomenal. Mid-'80s. Quote, "The girl lived a life," Winkler said of Phillips. Quote, "The power of being able to confront your demons and then put them behind you gives you a weight and an understanding of living and relationships, of acceptance, of warmth, and of passion." And Rich Ross agreed, so they cast her. "I had no idea Jessica Simpson auditioned for Mickey Mouse, so I don't think it was fair how they stated that she completely bombed for audition and got the lowest grade." I mean, it's okay to think it's unfair, but I do have to tell you, I have read her memoir, and she also thinks she bombed her audition. So maybe it was just literally a bad audition. I don't know. I've read her memoir, and she didn't seem surprised that she didn't make it, personally. I'm a Jessica Simpson fan. I'm a fan of her voice, but everybody has bad auditions, and bad auditions don't translate to booking jobs. So it's not always an indicator of whether or not you're talented. It's sometimes just you're not a good auditioner. Some people are very talented and very bad at auditioning, and that's just a fact. You know, having been on that side of the table, I've seen a lot of people where it's just shocking how bad they are when they get in the audition room, even if you've seen them in a show and they're good in a show. So it's just, you know, it's just, it's what it is, I guess, you know. People were like, "Are you insane?" Ross recalled, and I was like, "No, she's perfect." The ensemble cast included several teen boys, including Brink heartthrob Eric Von Detten, loved him, and Blake Lively's older brother, Eric Lively, in supporting roles. But the show was centered on Cara DeLizia and her character's experiences navigating the paranormal as a teen girl. Fee followed in the footsteps of spunky Nickelodeon heroes like Alex Mack, loved that show, and Shelby Woo. But having a female dramatic lead on a kid's show was still a rare occurrence. And when Cara went through puberty in real life, there were outsized concerns based on focus group results that young girls who hadn't developed yet wouldn't understand or connect with Fee's curves. "They would try to hide my boobs with sports bras or baggy shirts," Cara said. "It was a big deal to have a young girl as a female star, so I felt like they really wanted every girl in the United States to feel like they could relate to Fee. But on the other hand, you also have this young girl that's going through puberty herself, and it's like, what the hell are these boobs? They're huge." Disney Channel tested So Weird extensively through its 1999 to 2001 run, and the results about the content of the show were overwhelmingly positive. Audiences liked the idea of a kiddie X-Files, and they liked the traveling musical family element that was subtly reminiscent of the Partridge Family. They just didn't like the idea of watching it on Disney Channel. Disney was associated with perky, happy fare, not introspective spookiness and haunting melodies. In response, the series began to shift to a younger, goofier place, more in line with viewers' expectations of the network. By the time Winkler appeared in a guest role on a season 2 episode, he said with an air of sadness that the show had already started to take on a completely different tone. Ahead of season 3, Kara said her mom, parenthetical, who she described as not the most easygoing person, asked that she be released from her contract to pursue other projects, and the network complied. I didn't want to leave, Kara said. I wanted to stay, and Disney wanted me to stay. But I was a kid, and it was out of my control, and it was really hard. The cast and the crew were like my family, end quote. Disney Channel ended up completely revamping So Weird for season 3, axing the showrunners and bringing in bright-eyed younger leads named Alex Johnson to star as Fee's cousin and sing on the show and in side projects. I don't think so, Amanda. It was a lot of different emotions, Alex said. Kara's character represented So Weird, and then I'm coming in as this new kid on the block. It was a really delicate balance. Even before the shift, So Weird had relied on original songs to complement the storytelling. The series was perfectly set up for musical integration. Fee's mom, Molly, was a rock star. She sang original tracks through the series, and the theme song was an absolute banger. Real-life bands She Daisy and the Moffats had guest appearances, but Disney never released an accompanying So Weird soundtrack or promoted the show's music in any way, apart from airing performance clips as music video interstitials to promote new episodes. That was probably a mistake. It was obvious that audiences responded well to music, but without a working and willing relationship between the Disney labels and the Disney Channel, the path forward remained unclear. One of the most striking indicators that pop music needed to play a role in Disney Channel's reimagined landscape was its live concert series. Who was addicted to the live concert series? You could not have torn me away from the live concert series if you had offered me $1 million. I mean, I was there. I was watching everyone. Obsessed. I have some of them recorded on VHS still in my mom's place. I mean, yeah, hi Noah. Yeah, what a flashback. What a great series. Genius. I'm not surprised, Amanda. Because Disney Channel had space to fill in their ad-free breaks, Rich Ross was able to broker a deal with external record labels like Sony, BMG, and Warner Records. Disney Channel would air interstitial music videos from relevant young pop acts if the labels would also offer up their talent for Disney Channel concert specials to be on Disney properties. Right from the beginning, I said, we need to bring relevant things to kids live on the channel, Ross explained. We felt very strongly that we would buy equity until we could create our own equity. Oh yeah, she's probably gonna send them, but I don't have a VHS player, so it's not like I could play them or anything. To make this happen, he turned to Tina Treadwell. She was a fellow Ivy Leaguer who had worked in commercial casting and production on shows like In Living Color, and she had grown up around the music business. Her father, George, was a jazz trumpeter and one of the first Black entertainment managers, overseeing acts like Billie Holiday and Sammy Davis Jr., and co-founding The Drifters, famous for hits like Under the Boardwalk and Save the Last Dance for Me. If you can figure a way out to do music specials for kids, Ross told Treadwell during the hiring process, you can start right away. Treadwell leapt at the challenge and began sketching out the Disney Channel in concert series. The taped specials would go beyond straightforward musical performances and would meld Disney corporate interests with the audience's desire to get to know their favorite stars. Yes, she was an absolute genius at this. I am here to tell you, as a consumer of that series, it worked. It worked. It worked. She's a genius. Woven alongside clips from the concerts held at Disney properties like Disney MGM Studios or the Disney Magic Cruise Ship were candid segments that showed the artists exploring Disney parks, shopping at Downtown Disney, and talking about their personal lives. Early acts to jump on board included LeAnn Rimes, Ray J, Brandy, and Johnny Lang. But the promise of the concert series really clicked into place when the Backstreet Boys backed out 2 weeks before their scheduled taping. Do you guys know this story? I actually know this story. This is freaking wild. The fact that this happened, this whole thing, the world would have been a different place if this hadn't happened. This is like life-changing stuff right here for so many people. The whole trajectory of the music industry changed in this moment. I will die on that hill. Desperate for a last-minute replacement, Treadwell flew to Orlando to sign a deal with controversial music manager Lou Pearlman, who had offered up his group NSYNC as an alternate act for the special. NSYNC, which included Mouseketeer formers Justin Timberlake and JC Chasez, had thus far remained in the Backstreet Boys' shadow in the American market. But NSYNC's July 1998 Disney Channel in Concert special helped them explode. 2 weeks after the special premiered, NSYNC's self-titled album cracked the top 40 for the first time. I haven't watched the series yet. I do need to watch Dirty Pop, but I didn't know that they touched on that, but it's possible that they did. Quote, once it started airing, that's when tides started changing, NSYNC member Lance Bass told Billboard in 2018. One morning, we woke up and everybody knew our names. After that, the Disney Channel in Concert floodgates opened. Britney Spears, Bewitched, Five, Jessica Simpson, BB Mac, M2M, 98 Degrees, and Hoku. The Backstreet Boys scrambled to rebook. As Disney Channel president Anne Sweeney recalled, quote, their labels were pounding on doors saying, can we get a Disney Channel special with you? The specials were a hit, both in terms of media attention on Disney Channel and the accompanying boost. Me too, Becca. I used a song of theirs for my very original book report of The Princess Diaries. That's not a joke, because they have a song called Dear Diary. This is true story, yes. I did a book report on the original Princess Diaries in 1999, and I used a song from M2M for my book report. Facts. But because most of the artists weren't signed to a Disney record label, Disney wasn't reaping the album sale profits that came from their promotional concert specials and music videos. At first, they tolerated the loss in name of making Disney Channel an arbiter of musical taste, but the cool artists and songs of the day weren't always Disney appropriate, although labels agreed to alter their lyrics to be less suggestive in order to get the artists more airtime on the channel. But it only delayed the inevitable, as even the most sugar-coated acts eventually did grow up. See Britney Spears' Stronger music video, which drew a wave of parental backlash when it aired on the Disney Channel in the year 2000. Quote, when they would become less appropriate, Ross said, it was the end of the line for us. Those challenges, coupled with specials' lack of longevity, quote, you can't play the same Britney Spears concert 5 years from now because she's moved on to be a different kind of artist, Treadwell said. So we saw them phase out the concert series and external music videos completely by 2001. I understand why they did that, but I think they did it too early. I think that there was still time to keep it going at least until 2005. By 2005, you have the internet and you have YouTube and all that. So I understand why you would take them away at that point. But I think they could have kept it going a few years longer. That's just my personal opinion. Kids might not want to watch the same concert special for years, but they do want to rewatch movies. I disagree. Fans of an artist will rewatch the same concert series for years. I'm just going to say that flat out. People who are actual fans will rewatch them. Kids included, but that's another story. While on vacation in Aspen in 1999, Michael Eisner and his wife Jane called up various friends to gather for a Friday night dinner. One by one, the couples turned them down, and after the fourth rejection, an exasperated Eisner said, I don't understand. Why can't you go? Michael, I don't even understand why you're asking us to dinner, the woman replied. You have a movie coming out this weekend, and we want to watch it with our kids. What? No, I don't, Eisner said, mentally running through the Walt Disney Studios theatrical calendar. Yes, you do, she insisted. Johnny Tsunami on Disney Channel. Eisner relayed this story to the Disney Channel executives at a budget meeting with a huge grin on his face. That was the moment where they literally gave us the keys to the kingdom, and they were like, this matters, Ross said. I go back to Wicked so many times, same concept. Agreed. There's actually an entire documentary, Noah, I don't know if you know about it. Did it ever get made? I was tapped to possibly talk to them about it, so maybe it actually didn't get made. But there was going to be a documentary called Repeat Viewers or Repeat Attendees, something like that, about people who go back to the same Broadway show multiple times. Same concept. Same concept. Anne Sweeney started as Disney Channel's president in 1996. Research consistently showed that the most 11 and 12-year-olds were scared of MTV. And while they wanted to be cool and talk about going out with their friends on weekends, they weren't actually ready for that reality. That conundrum begat the idea of the Disney Channel original movie, aka DCOM, pronounced D-COM, but it's spelled D-C-O-M. Anyone sing at the MTV Music Awards and win the Golden Popcorn? No, I never went to those, but that's amazing. A 90-minute feature that premiered on Friday nights and repeated on Saturdays and Sundays, offering tweens an exciting weekend activity from the comfort and safety of their own homes. The network cultivated a culture of DCOM co-viewing that, for its intended audience, was prioritized as much as a family's weekend outing to the movie theater. Quote, "We gave kids something to look forward to," Sweeney said, and something that they could watch as a community. For the original movie's subject matter, the DCOM team rotated through a mix of sports, fantasy, mystery, and holiday topics. In the early days, movies with male leads were prioritized, following the conventional wisdom that girls would watch content with male stars, but boys wouldn't watch female-led entertainment. Around the turn of the millennium, things shifted. I was doing a lot of research and talking to child psychology experts. Original movie executive Denise Carlson said, "When girls start going through puberty, suddenly they get intimidated and they lose their feeling of strength. They started to worry about, am I good enough? So Disney made sure that the dot in the DCOM lineup made sure to dot the DCOM lineup with empowering female leads like Halloween Town, Rip Girls, Gotta Kick It Up, and Motorcrossed." Sweeney's background in education meant that she was eager to see that DCOMs also serve as a hub for imparting valuable lessons under the guise of entertainment. It is a true thing, though. I know you guys are making angry faces, but it is a true thing that generally speaking, it won't go the other way, which makes, well, you know what, it's another story for another day. The Color of Friendship taught a generation about South Africa's apartheid. Miracle Lane 2 showed a kid with a physical disability triumphing in a competition. And True Confessions highlighted a tween with a developmental disability. Quote, "We never said we're going to teach you about apartheid today," Sweeney said. "We said we're going to tell you a story." Repeat Attenders, that's what it's called. Thank you, Noah. I couldn't remember. I talked to them at the first year of BroadwayCon. Original movie head Carol Rubin, one of the only senior holdouts from the pre-Sweeney days, looked for adaptation ideas by browsing bookstores to see which covers of kids' books spoke to her. That's where she found Marilyn Sadler's Xenon Girl of the 21st Century. Life-changing moment for so many of us Protozoa fans in the house. And producer Sherry Singer, who had worked on the wonderful Walt of Disney films through the early 90s, would often bring in script ideas based on real-world events, like twins who played in the WNBA or sisters who were race car drivers. Because each film only carried a budget between $3.5 and $4.5 million, most original movies were shot outside of California, in locations that offered desirable production tax break incentives. Canada, Utah, Oregon, Louisiana, Puerto Rico, and New Zealand all entered the mix and presented unique on-location challenges. Interesting. While Toronto could believably double as a generic US city, it wasn't always easy to find uniquely American skills on the ground in Canada. They imported double Dutch jump ropers from Brooklyn for Jump In and ROTC units from New Jersey for Cadet Kelly. Elsewhere, the cast and crew of Now You See It had to evacuate New Orleans ahead of Hurricane Ivan in 2004. They eventually chartered a flight along with the cast of the film of Glory Road back to LA, where nervous Disney Channel executives were waiting for them on the tarmac. Yeah, it sounds like it was pre Georgia Film Tax. Yeah, it doesn't sound like they're doing anything there in this. Sorry, I've got a frog in my throat. As each new DCOM script was put into production, the network executives would turn to a pre-approved director list comprised of mostly white men. Names like Paul Hohen, Duane Dunham, Stuart Gillen, and Greg Beeman frequently appeared on the proverbial director's chair. Directors of color, LeVar Burton on Smart House, Kevin Hooks on The Color of Friendship, and Oz Scott on Cheetah Girls, Ramon Mendez on Gotta Kick It Up, and women directors like Joyce Copra on Rip Girls and Maggie Greenwald on Get a Clue, Mary Lambert on Halloween Town 2, and Francine McDougal on Go Figure and Cowbells, Allison Liddy Brown on Princess Protection Program popped up sporadically. Unlike the network's previous generation of Disney Channel premiere films, which varied in style and tone, the Disney Channel original movies soon fell into a cohesive identity. Their stories featured an abundance of heartfelt family and friendship moments. Their sets were filled with primary colors. Their actors were clad in bright costumes. Quote, I remember DCOM executive Carol Rubin calling me once after she saw some dailies, and she said, let me be clear, I do not want to see tan, I do not want to see brown, I do not want to see taupe, I do not want to see beige, said producer Kevin Lafferty, who worked on many of the Toronto original movies. Whenever possible, it was always color, color, color. The town where Halloween Town has a film still, oh, really? I didn't know that, Jen, that's really cute. Often, new DCOM directors would arrive on set on their first day and announce to the crew, this movie is going to be different than the rest. It's not going to feel like a TV Disney movie. It's going to feel like a real feature film, like a real drama. A network executive would gently pull them aside and remind them, no, here's a codified look about what we want. It was almost like an anthology series, Lafferty said. If everyone had the same lighting, same look, they would be perfectly happy with that, kind of like how Marvel is now. And since movies have long shelf lives, the most popular DCOMs were aired repeatedly. That's very true. A lot of people have come up to me over the years like, oh, I love your Johnny Tsunami TV show. I watched it all the time. The film star Brandon Baker said, and I was like, it's a movie. And they just played it off. They just played it so often that you thought it was a TV show. Parenthetical. The film would have become a bigger franchise if not for the actual devastating tsunami that hit South Asia in 2004, delaying an eventual sequel in 2007 and leading to them to retool the title to Johnny Kapahala Back on Board, omitting the word tsunami. That's interesting. That's very interesting. But no matter how popular a Disney Channel original movie became, it was made clear that its stars were always replaceable. Kimberly J. Brown played the role of teen witch Marnie Piper in the first 3 Halloween Town films, but when it came time to sign on for a 4th film in 2005, her contract negotiations stalled. Having started the network's most successful film franchise for the better part of a decade, Kimberly and her team came to the table with a slate of what executive producer Sherry Singer termed unusual perks. She wanted a rich deal, Singer said. It wasn't acrimonious, but I think she wanted her mother to get a shot at writing the story or get a producer credit, and had limits on what publicity she would or wouldn't do, what she wanted to get paid. Those were just some things, at least at the time, that felt like overreaching, and she wouldn't budge. Brown has maintained that she was available and ready to do the 4th film, but Disney decided to go in a different direction. That's interesting. I personally, like, some of these things feel like they're not that weird, and some of them feel like a stretch. Like, asking for your mom to get a writer or producer credit, take several seats, but like saying I want to do limited publicity or I want to be paid more, that's pretty normal. But like asking for your mom to be put in the writer's room is a little wonkadoodle, right? And look, I don't know if she really said that. That's just what they're quoting here, but that is a little bit of a weird ask. Still, Marsh wanted a 4th Halloween Town film with or without Kimberly. I know fans were really disappointed, Singer said, but we had more story to tell. They pursued 2 different script ideas, one of which would have been a musical featuring songs written by Jim Wise, who played Coach Tugna on Even Stevens. They decided on a non-musical version, and Sarah Paxton, who had auditioned for virtually every DCOM since Smart House, was offered the part to replace Marnie in Return to Halloween Town. But no matter how delightful and charming Sarah was in the role, she wasn't Kimberly, and many fans didn't appreciate or understand the change. Quote, "It's kind of sad because every year like clockwork around Halloween Town, the hate messages rain down upon my Twitter and Instagram," Sarah said. Like, "Sarah Paxton sucks. We miss the old Marnie." It's like, did you guys think we had a fist fight in the parking lot or something? I didn't attack her. It just is what it is. They asked me to be in it, and I said yes. At their peak output of 12 movies a year, the Disney Channel Original Movies team was shepherding 20 or more projects at that time through stages of development, but that abundance quickly proved untenable. Quote, "We thought it was dream come true, and then it became be more careful what you wish for," Rich Ross said. "Monthly, it was hard to find stories that we felt were right, talent to populate them, marketing dollars to support them, and anticipation to get ready to watch them. We quickly came back and said, this is not going to work." After spending the late 90s trying a variety of new programming, the greenlighting original series that ranged in genre from reality shows to edgy sci-fi capers and action drama series, Disney Channel settled into its winning formula for a new millennium. A two-pronged balance of dramatic original movies and comedic original series that would come in the core form that would form the core of the network for decades to come. Oh, that was the end of the chapter. Okay. Well, there you go. Very interesting. Apparently chapter 3 is all about Even Stevens. So we're going to be reading about Even Stevens on Monday. Very interesting. I'm fascinated by all this stuff. I hope that I'm not, yeah, it's a lot of information. I hope nobody's bored by it. I know it's not like, you know, I mean, we read nonfiction stuff all the time, actually. I don't know why I said that. Like, we don't do this all the time. Saying 2000s and then decades to come. I know, crying, right, Jen? Yeah, I think it's just been a minute since we've read a nonfiction book, so it feels a little out of the box, but it's not that weird for us because we've done it multiple times over the years. So I don't know. Anyway, just a little reminder, if you haven't done your VOTE, you know, do that if you can do it early, and if you can't do it early, prepare yourself. I mailed mine in because I'm going to be too pregnant to stand in line in 2.5 weeks, but make sure you do that, you know. Even Stevens was so good, but yeah, I know, Amanda, it's really sad. Yeah, I love learning stuff too. I'm a big on that. I actually have read 2 memoirs this month already. I read an unauthorized biography of Melania, and I read Hillary's newest memoir. I liked both, honestly. Obviously, I'm a fan of one of those people and not the other, but that doesn't mean learning isn't still interesting. Although I have to admit, I really enjoy Shia LaBeouf's podcast. I've never listened to it. Is it good? What was that one about? Just like about his experiences, probably. I mean, he had a great run while he had it. You know what I mean? Yeah. Almost 2 hours worth of really deep conversation. Didn't even think he was capable. Oh, poor guy. My parents just told me that they almost went to the movie. Well, I mean, I have to tell you, Anya, I am not against seeing the movie. Exactly. We learn about people we don't like to understand. That's right. I'm not against seeing the Orange Guy movie, and here's why I will tell you. He does not want that movie made, and he has tried at every turn to get them to stop from making that movie, which makes me think it should be seen. Because if he doesn't want it out there, I want to know why. You know what I mean? And that must mean they must have something. Yeah, it's not complimentary by any means. I can't remember the name of it, Amanda, but there's like Kickstarter stuff for it because they're like trying to raise money because he's like tried to stop them at a lot of, no, we're talking about politics now. I can't say his name because I don't want to get flagged, but it's not a Disney Channel reference. There's a person in politics who's quite orange, so we just use that term. There is an unflattering film being made about him, and he's trying to get it stopped, which makes me want to know why. Yeah, Sebastian Stan plays him, which I think is really interesting. Very interesting. So anyway, that's my thought. on that. Yeah, same, Anya, same. So anyway, I will, that one, yes, please proceed. The Apprentice, him, yes, that guy. Did you guys see the quote from, do we call the other one Couch Boy? I think we should. Wait, really quick before I go, did you see the quote from the original like producer of The Apprentice apologizing to everyone for making that show and everything that he did? Like, he came out with a huge, you should Google it. Google like to find, it's like a huge thing he put out this past week apologizing for what he did in making TRUMP a star. It was a really interesting quote. He was like, look, I made everyone believe that he was some kind of great businessman, but in reality, the actual good businessman didn't have time to be on a show, so I had to just like fake it. And like, it's fine for a reality TV show, but it's not fine to run the country. It's really interesting. Oh, the movie's called The Apprentice. Yes. Either way, it's a very interesting quote from the guy who created that show. Definitely worth looking up. Y'all know my opinion, so I don't have to say any more, but it's interesting. It's very interesting. Yeah. So I will see you all on Monday. We will read about Even Stevens. All pre-orders will be shipped by today, and keep an eye out for more polls about classes and Q&A dates today. And Couch Boy has a movie based on this book. Yeah, that I will not support because he got money from that one. TRUMP is not getting money from the movie mentioned here, but Couch Boy is getting money from the movie on his book. So yes, yeah, Becca, his was made with his permission, so we don't want that one. Okay, I love you all. Maybe I'll be on later to make slime. I don't know. It depends on how work goes. I have a lot to do. It was years ago, yeah, but he was tapped after the book came out to make it. So yeah, it's true. I know enough about eyeliner things though. Yeah, exactly. All right, I'll see you all later. Have a great day, guys.